What if the most iconic stadium in English football was about to disappear forever? Manchester United, the club synonymous with Old Trafford's Theatre of Dreams, is planning something unprecedented. They want to tear it all down and start again. But here's the problem. The land they need costs 10 times what they're willing to pay. The design keeps changing, and nobody knows who's actually footing the £2 billion bill. This is the story of what could become the largest club stadium in Britain, a 100,000 capacity giant with masts visible from Liverpool, a canopy larger than Trafalgar Square, and enough controversy to divide a fan base. Some call it visionary, others call it vandalism. This is New Trafford, the stadium that promises to redefine Manchester United if the numbers ever add up. Old Trafford opened in 1910 as a cathedral of football, and for over a century it stood as the fortress where Manchester United built their empire. This was where Matt Busby rebuilt after the Munich air disaster, where Sir Alex Ferguson won 13 Premier League titles, and where the class of '92 became legends. But here's the uncomfortable truth. While United was winning trophies, their stadium was quietly dying. The last major renovation happened in 2006 when 8,000 seats were added. Then the Glazers took control through a leveraged buyout in 2005, saddling the club with debt that would eventually exceed £1 billion. For nearly 2 decades, Old Trafford received nothing but band-aids and broken promises. Debt servicing cost hundreds of millions that could have been invested in infrastructure. The Glazers prioritized dividends over desperately needed maintenance. By 2024, the decay was impossible to ignore. In May, during a match against Arsenal, water cascaded through the roof like a waterfall, drenching fans in their seats. It wasn't the first time. Similar floods occurred in 2023, 2019, and 2012. Videos of rodent sightings went viral. The infrastructure was embarrassing. Limited disabled access, cramped concourses, ancient hospitality areas. The final blow came in 2023 when UEFA compiled the host venue list for Euro 2028. Old Trafford didn't make the cut. The official reason? Manchester United couldn't guarantee the stadium would even be suitable or available. For a club of United's stature, it was devastating. The decline wasn't just neglect, it was physics. Between 2017 and 2019, United explored a mega expansion to push capacity beyond 80,000. Architects were hired, feasibility studies commissioned. But the project died. The South Stand backs directly onto a major railway line, one of Britain's busiest freight corridors. Any expansion would require purchasing railway land from Network Rail or building over active tracks, both astronomically expensive and legally nightmarish. A canal ran parallel, further hemming in the site. The Glazers refused to commit the funds. Then, Sir Jim Ratcliffe entered the picture. In February 2024, when Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the British billionaire and Ineos founder, purchased 27.7% of Manchester United for £1.2 billion. Ratcliffe didn't come to make small changes. Almost immediately, he made his intention shockingly clear. Forget renovation, forget compromises. Britain's North needed its own Wembley. He assembled an elite task force, Lord Sebastian Coe, Gary Neville, Mayor Andy Burnham, and urban planners, to decide the stadium's fate. They studied Barcelona's Camp Nou rebuild with pushing capacity toward 105,000, and Tottenham's state-of-the-art new stadium with an NFL-ready retractable pitch generating massive revenues. And then they turned to the fans. In November 2024, results from a survey of 30,000 Manchester United supporters revealed a razor-thin split. 52% favored building a completely new stadium over redevelopment. It was slim, but it gave Ratcliffe his mandate. The message was clear. Fans, while deeply attached to Old Trafford's history, were willing to move forward if it secured the club's future. The reasoning was brutal economics. Renovating Old Trafford would cost between £1 billion and £1.2 billion, require reduced capacity during construction, costing tens of millions in lost matchday revenue, and potentially force United to play at Manchester City's Etihad Stadium for seasons, an unthinkable humiliation. And after spending over £1 billion, you'd still have a compromised stadium. The railway line and canal behind the South Stand weren't going anywhere. The cramped footprint would remain. You'd have an expensive facelift on a 115-year-old building trapped by geography. The decision was made Manchester United would build new. But what would this new fortress actually look like? And could Ratcliffe's vision match the ambition of a club desperate to reclaim its throne? In March 2025, Foster plus partners unveiled their vision, and the football world lost its mind. The architect behind Wembley and Qatar's World Cup final stadium was promising something no one had seen before. Norman Foster himself, 89 years old and Manchester-born, called it the most important project of his career. The numbers alone tell an incredible story. Old Trafford's 74,000 capacity explodes to 100,000, with gross capacity hitting 104,000 when standing areas are included. This makes it Britain's largest football venue, dwarfing Wembley's 90,000, and Europe's second biggest, behind only Barcelona's Camp Nou. But the real revolution wasn't about cramming in more seats. It was about how they planned to build it and what they'd create underneath. 3 massive masts dominate the design, inspired by Manchester United's Trident logo. The tallest reaches 200 meters into the sky, making it Manchester's tallest structure and visible from 25 miles away. Fans driving from Liverpool's outskirts could spot their destination on the horizon. But these aren't just decorative poles. They support what was supposed to be the engineering marvel defining the entire project, a translucent canopy spanning 126,000 square meters. This umbrella-like roof wouldn't just cover the stands, it would shelter a public plaza twice the size of Trafalgar Square beneath it, creating what Norman Foster described as arguably the largest public space in the world. The canopy itself promised to be revolutionary. Integrated solar panels would harvest energy, while rainwater collection systems captured every drop for reuse. The translucent material filters natural light, slashing reliance on artificial lighting during day matches. While Old Trafford leaks when it rains, this stadium would turn that rain into power and water. Inside the bowl, the design focuses obsessively on atmosphere. Steeper stands positioned dramatically closer to the pitch than any modern stadium. The new Stretford end alone will hold 23,500 people, more than double Tottenham's South Stand and larger than some entire lower league stadiums. Here's a mind-bending detail. The pitch sits 15.9 meters below ground level, meaning fans in the lower tiers will be at eye level with the players, close enough to see every beat of sweat and hear every shout. The seating configuration is surgical. The lower bowl wraps the pitch in an unbroken wall of fans, unlike Emirates or Tottenham, where corporate sections kill the atmosphere mid-flow. Here, hospitality gets tucked into upper tiers and corners. The passionate supporters stay right on top of the action, where they belong. Accessibility gets a revolutionary upgrade. Over 500 wheelchair spaces are scattered throughout the stadium, each with companion seating. Wide ramps and lifts connect every level, while quiet sensory rooms give fans with autism a retreat from the roar, something almost no British stadium offers. The tech integration goes beyond scoreboards. Lighting system transforms the entire exterior into a canvas. Matchday nights, where the structure pulses red, special occasions with projections, and light shows visible across Manchester. It's not just a stadium, it's a 100,000-seat entertainment platform. The surrounding area transforms into a complete district. Retail stores, restaurants, hotels, entertainment venues, all designed to make matchday an all-day experience. But here's where reality crashes into the vision. September 2025 brought dramatic news. The iconic canopy might be scrapped entirely. The Freightliner land dispute shows no signs of resolution, and without that extra land, the umbrella roof simply won't fit. The canopy alone carries a £300 to £400 million price tag, and Foster's team is now quietly developing alternative plans that keep the 3 masts but simplify or eliminate the massive roof structure. But the canopy crisis is just one problem. Behind those stunning renders lies a web of financial chaos, political battles, and decisions that could price out the very fans who made this club what it is. The construction timeline looked brilliant on paper when Norman Foster unveiled his masterpiece, a 5-year build starting before 2025 ended, with fans watching from Old Trafford stands as their gleaming new neighbor rose next door. The plan seemed almost too perfect. United would play on through construction, then simply relocate to their 100,000-seat cathedral, while demolition crews spent 12 months erasing Old Trafford from existence. But reality has proven far messier than the architectural rendering suggested, and what was sold as football's most ambitious project has become a cautionary tale of miscalculation and mounting crisis. The Freightliner dispute transformed from minor inconvenience into existential threat almost overnight. United casually valued the rail freight terminal at £40 to £50 million. Freightliner's parent company Brookfield responded with £400 million. The gap wasn't negotiating room, it was a chasm. Sources revealed the brutal truth: Freightliner have United over a barrel. The logistics company expressed willingness to relocate to St. Helens, where they'd gain greater capacity, but they weren't negotiating down. United had already announced their grand vision to the world, backed themselves into a corner, and walking away now would mean admitting defeat before construction even began. Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham floated compulsory purchase orders that would force the sale at fair value. But that guarantees years of legal warfare and political fallout. Using government powers to help a billionaire-owned football club doesn't play well with voters, particularly when United insists they don't need public money for the stadium itself. The timeline has collapsed spectacularly. March 2025's grand unveiling promised imminent action. 6 months later, Norman Foster was giving reassuring interviews despite zero visible progress. No land acquired, no planning applications submitted. The construction that was supposed to transform Manchester's skyline clearly wasn't happening. Then came the design controversy that fractured the fan base. July 2025 consultations leaked horrifying details. United was exploring personal seat licenses, where fans pay up to £4,000 just for the right to buy a season ticket for 30 years. Miss one season and you lose everything. It's standard in the NFL, but alien to English football culture, and the backlash was furious. Critics accused the club of pricing out working-class fans who'd supported United for generations, replacing authentic atmosphere with corporate sanitization. Financial reality compounded everything. September 2025 brought record revenues of £666.5 million, paired with a £33 million loss. Disastrous on-field performance, the team wallowing in 14th place, decimated income. Chief Executive Omar Barada admitted the stadium project risked competitive ability, echoing Arsenal and Tottenham's struggles during their stadium builds. Finance experts questioned how United could service existing debts exceeding £1 billion, invest in the squad, and fund stadium construction simultaneously. Stefan Borson calculated the true cost could reach £4 billion, suggesting the project might be on hold until finances stabilized. Political complications added another layer of difficulty. Sir Jim Ratcliffe initially floated government funding possibilities, drawing immediate criticism before backtracking. He clarified the stadium would be privately funded, but surrounding infrastructure, new roads, upgraded rail connections, Freightliner's relocation, required public investment. But all these complications pale in comparison to the most fundamental question hanging over the entire project: where will the money actually come from? Let's cut through the confusion and talk about who's actually paying for this monumental project. Manchester United's chief operating officer Colette Roche declared they will pay the full £2 billion stadium cost themselves. But that statement obscures a murky financial reality, and the truth is, nobody knows the exact split yet. The Glazer family aren't contributing a single penny. Despite owning United for nearly 2 decades, they've shown zero interest in funding infrastructure, focusing instead on extracting dividends. That leaves Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos group carrying the burden. Ratcliffe already invested £1.3 billion for merely 28% ownership and bankrolled a £50 million Carrington upgrade. But financing a £2 billion stadium while owning only a quarter of the club creates massive complications. Will Ineos fund the entire project? Will the Glazers contribute proportionally to their 75% stake? These critical questions remain unanswered. The financial engineering gets creative to fill the gaps. Industry insiders expect United to establish a separate stadium company that raises external investment from private equity firms, pension funds, or sovereign wealth funds, contributing 30 to 50% of total costs. Stadium naming rights worth £20 to £30 million annually would likely be sold up front for £400 to £600 million. Those controversial personal seat licenses could raise another £300 to £500 million. When the Los Angeles Rams built SoFi Stadium, similar licenses fetched up to $220,000. Each premium seating represents another revenue stream. Roughly 16,000 premium seats could generate $90 to $130 million yearly, while expanded capacity adds $100 to $150 million in extra matchday revenue annually. These guaranteed streams make the project attractive to institutional investors willing to fund construction for decades of steady returns. But here's the brutal catch. All these projections assume Manchester United returns to winning ways. The likely funding breakdown looks like this. Ratcliffe's Ineos potentially contributing 40 to 50%, external investors providing 30 to 40% through the stadium company structure, and remaining funds raised through naming rights and personal seat license sales. But these are educated guesses because United hasn't revealed their actual financing plan, and every delay makes lenders more nervous. Delays cost money at an accelerating rate. That £2 billion estimate could reach £3 billion by 2030. United's existing debt already exceeds £1 billion, severely limiting borrowing capacity. The government won't fund the stadium, but must pay for moving Freightliner and upgrading infrastructure, adding uncertainty. So, what do you think? Will New Trafford become reality or the most expensive failed dream in football history? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button for more football deep dives.